Hey guys, Joe here again, back in the garage. Today I got a renewed interest in trying to get these two carburetors to sing in harmony. Alright guys, here's what we're dealing with today. If you guys didn't catch my last video with the old bad Hombre here, it's just not running right. I had it out in the driveway doing some testing on it, and when I would load into the gas, load it against the brakes and then try to stomp on it, it would just stutter. And I think what I got going is a lean surge. I've been doing a bunch of reading on the Edelbrock website. They got a lot of good info on how to tune these carburetors, and that seems like a lean stumble what I got going. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull some plugs and look at them, and then I'm going to figure out which set of jets, metering rods I need to do to make this, put in here to make this thing run right. So in order to do so today, I broke out all my Edelbrock stuff that I have, springs, metering rods, jets, and I'm going to kind of walk through them and try to figure out which ones are going to work well in that car. Let me give you an update or kind of an idea of my baseline. What I did here is I looked up on, did a bunch of research and figured out what Edelbrock put in these carburetors when they sell their 2.4 setup. Because you see a lot of guys run around 2.4 barrels just sitting on a 350 and they run right. Well, one of the things is it's a 500 CFM carburetor, their 2.4 setup. And these are 600. But I did get some baseline tuning ideas from there. Okay, so I took the baseline tuning settings they had from those 2.4s, which are 500 CFM. Mine are 600 CFM. But I took that baseline setting and installed basically what they recommend in here. And what that is a size 77 jet in the secondaries. And in the primaries, I think it's a size 86 jet. And then a couple different sets of metering rods. You run actually a more rich metering rod in the rear. The rationale is that this carburetor, the primary circuit, primary jets, primary side, will feed more than just these rear 4 cylinders, right? Some of it's going to end up here in these front cylinders. Whereas this front one, it's only really going to feed the front cylinders. So you need a little more gas demand out of here. So I went with their setting on metering rods. And then you saw last time what I played with was the rate of spring right here. Put the stiffest spring I had in for the metering rods. So I think I'm going to go back, take it out, those stiffest springs out, put in a medium setting. And I think what I got going is that lean stumble. So I'm going to find some metering rods that'll allow me a more rich step when it goes from the idle to where it's down on the thick step to when I get on the gas and it releases vacuum, these pop up and we go to the step up, which what I'm talking about here. Like this is a 6552 metering rod, right? Meaning 65 up here, 52 down here. I think that's thousandths. I think that's how they gauge it. Okay, but that's the size of the metering rod stuffed into the jet. And when it's high vacuum, obviously less fuel required, so the bigger step is in the jet. And then when you get on the gas, the lack of vacuum raises this up, and then we go to the smaller step. And I think that's what's going on when I go from idle to transition to into the gas pedal. It is not enough gas, so what I need is something with a smaller step on the bottom. Like this one was a 52, so I need to come in with something in the 40s. So I am going to try to find 4 metering rods that work out of my pile close to these, and I'm going to put them on here, and I'm going to drop them in the car, and we'll go do some more testing. Okay guys, I did a little bit of digging through what I have, and here's what I'm going to go with. These are 7347s, and these are 7342s. And that's about as big as the second or the bottom step as I can get for the for a match set for the carbs. So I'm going to go ahead and hang these things on the little plungers. Probably going to step down a step and spring. This is a little bit less stiff. I'll go with those. I'll drop them back in. Now I know the jets that I probably have aren't ideal for these, so I might have to go in and change jets too in a minute, but it also might give you an idea of what works right, and I might get lucky, who knows. Alright, let me swap these out, we'll see how it goes. Alrighty guys, so we got those new metering rods in. I don't know how well it'll work in the idle circuit, but really it should help us get a feel for how we're doing once it comes out of the idle. So I'm going to fire this thing up. We'll see how it runs. If it runs good and gets warmed up and seems to do alright, I'll back it out and we'll do a little testing out there. That doesn't work. Here we go. Alright, so it sounds like it's a little better. I can tell you just by the fumes it is rich. And that's okay, because I figured it'd be rich at idle based on the jet that I have in there. But really I want to see if it gets rid of that lean bog. I do need to come in here. What do I need to do? I need to make an adjustment. Oh, my accelerator pump. I don't need that much stroke and squirt. So I'll pull that back a little bit, probably to the middle. Actually, I might just leave it alone and head out here and do a little testing on it, see how she acts. Well, it didn't like that. I'm going to change those squirters back to the leanest or the least amount of squirt it gives on the accelerator pump, and we'll try it again. Okay, well I might have discovered something that's not helping anything here, and that is, see on this front carb, plug there, on this back carb, I accidentally squirted a little gas in with the accelerator pump when I was changing it, and I saw this vapor or smoke come out. I'm guessing that's a giant vacuum leak. I'm going to see if I can fix that, and we'll see how far that gets us. Okay, so as much as I am ashamed to admit, and you guys are probably all shaking your heads at that giant vacuum leak didn't help anything. And if you know these carburetors a little, I don't know them that well, but that's where the choke housing used to mount, and for whatever reason it wasn't plugged. So here, speaking of, you guys tell me what you think of this. I thought it would be good to kind of equalize my carburetors. So like I pulled my vacuum off the back of each carburetor here and tied it together, and then my front, the one that powers my vacuum brake booster and my transmission kickdown or transmission module, I pulled off of both carbs as well. I guess in theory I could have just plugged the front and back of each carb. I mean, it's pretty indifferent, but I figured that would help equalize everything. So I don't know, you guys tell me if that's crazy, if guys do that on Tunnelrams or what. Kind of making it up as I go. Now I'm going to fire this thing up and check it for more exhaust or vacuum leaks, because I think that might help our situation. Here we go. Alright, I think I screwed up filming there. That fixing the vacuum leak didn't solve my problem. Neither did adjusting my metering rods. Still got a pretty good stumble to it, so back to the drawing board. Alright guys, so I got it all torn apart to do the jet change. I think what's going on is my primary jets are just too lean. I had 86s in there and I just wasn't going to get there changing the metering rods. So I dug through, found some more jets. I've got 95s. So I'm going to drop those in with some metering rods that match, slam this whole thing together and hope that it works. Wish me luck. Alrighty guys, I got her set up this time. I put those jets in the primary, the 095 jets. I've got 7347 metering rods in, which should work with those jets. I fired it up and it ran okay, but life calls. Life calls I gotta run. So I'm not gonna be able to test it out right now. When I get back, maybe we'll pull it out in the driveway, do a little more testing on it, see if we took care of that bog. Alright, let's do one more shot. That didn't work. Okay, so I think I discovered something with my carburetors, which I'm gonna have to research a little bit more, and it's this. When I rev it up, if you look at the squirters on the secondaries, I'm sorry, on the back carburetor, the primary is of the back carburetor, they squirt pretty good. But if you go up here and look at the fronts, not a lot of squirt happening, which makes me think something's wrong with this accelerator pump. Watch. Okay, for some reason, it looks like the front carb right side primaries are actually squirting, but this left side definitely is not. So I'm gonna have to tear into that thing. Tear into it, figure out what's going on, find out why that thing's not squirting. And I bet that has something to do with the stumble when you try to give it the gas like that. So let me dig in, mess with that a little bit, see what we can figure out. I'm going to set that right there. That little piece right there. So I pulled the squirter off the top of that carburetor, and it was this side that wasn't squirting. When I blew on it, I couldn't blow through it, and then all of a sudden, that little thing popped out, stuck on my finger. Just like this side, watch. Something's plugged in there as well. So I'm going to fiddle with that and see if I can get this thing unplugged, and then I bet it'll work a lot better. Alrighty guys, I went ahead and cleaned out that, I forget what you call it, the squirter for the primaries. I'll try to get in here close, see if it can focus, but these two pieces of junk came out of there. They were definitely plugged up. So I buttoned it back up, put it back together. I'm going to fire it up, we're going to give her one more shot. We'll see how this goes. It's getting late tonight, so this is it. It either works, or we come back another day. Alright, last shot. Let's see how she does. Whoa. Definitely better. Oh yeah, much better. fixed. We better put it away. Well, guys, I think that pull went a little bit better than any of the rest. Now I've got another problem I got to fix. One-legged burnouts. Oh well, we'll get to that one another time. I'm pretty pumped. Let's wrap this thing up. Alright guys, let's wrap this thing up. What did we learn today? Well, I'll tell you what I learned today. 3 things. Attention to detail is a big thing. Well, I guess the 2 of them are attention to detail, right? Had that huge vacuum leak. That's embarrassing I didn't catch it before. I should have known about that. Should have been able to catch it. That helped a bunch. The second one was finally digging in and really looking at what's going on and realizing those squirters weren't squirting in the front carburetor. That's it. It was dead lean because there just wasn't gas shooting in there. So, that's the second thing I learned. A little attention to detail with the where your gas is going or should be going helps, because those 2 little specks that I found in the squirter were what were causing all my problems. So, getting those things cleaned out, the thing runs like a champ now. I mean, it pulls hard. And the third thing is I need to get a posi. But that's neither here nor there. Thanks for following along. I know you guys are rooting for me. I do appreciate everybody's comments. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. You guys had some really good inputs for me there. There's more fine tuning to be done with this thing. It isn't perfect, but this is a pretty good start. I'm stoked on it right now. So, all right. Hey, share with somebody. Follow along. Hit subscribe. I do appreciate everything. All those subscribers I got. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time.